Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avintian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 21 with the Philadelphia Phillies, the five-time world champion Philadelphia Phillies, as we turn the team from dead last to the World Series in only 2 seasons, and we're going to stick with the Phillies until we reach 1900. And then once we reach 1900, I'm going to switch to another team, and then we'll continue on from there. Now, let's talk about what went very, very right last season. Probably the first and most important thing that happened was Ed McKean. Acquiring him completely transformed our chances, in my opinion. And I know we gave up a fair bit for him. We did give up Shorty Fuller, who ended up having an okay season, but McKean drove this offense in a very real way, and I was glad to see him succeed so well. Although John McGraw didn't play the full season, he did play most of it, and he was outstanding. He got on base, which is his job. Mike Slattery was a tiny bit disappointing. He did get injured and didn't have his maximum capabilities, but still played a very fine season. Bob Gilman Allen was probably our single biggest decision that carried us to the World Series, because we got a great shortstop who hit enough to drive the rest of our offense. And then there were some other helpful role players, but it's really about McKean, Slattery, McGraw, and Burns, and then everyone else contributing to a greater or lesser degree. Jouet Meekin was just outstanding, and I think giving him more of a role really helped us out. We did continue to have Jim Whitney, who's been nothing if not spectacular over most of his career. And then Bill Hutchinson, who we grabbed on waivers and turned in an excellent season of his own. Now, are we going to win the World Series again? I don't know. I genuinely don't. And I think a lot will depend on what's available in the draft, and if we can paper over some of the holes on this team. If we look at this view, some of our players are on the old side. Wise ended up not having a big role. Gore is probably the most expendable player on this roster. And it might very well be Stenzel who takes over. I haven't decided that yet. I do think I want him to play another year in AAA, but that's one possibility. The other thing is just finding a great outfielder in the draft who can fill that particular role. As long as John McGraw keeps getting on base, as long as Ed McKean keeps driving him in, I see no reason why we can't have the offensive success we did last season. Which means we need to spend this season trying to find long-term starting pitching. Possibly. Let's get through the awards and hope that we have many. We got a Gold Glove for McKean and Slattery and Gore. Silver Sluggers for McKean only. I won Manager of the Year again. Why would I be less than thrilled? We won a championship. I'm ecstatic. And then Mr. Meekin won the Cy Young Award. I'm curious to see if we had anywhere near MVP caliber voting. Nope, because Slidin' Billy's ridiculous ability to get on base and steal bases is going to basically mean there's no way he doesn't win this award. Because all I need to do is play competent defense and keep getting on base and stealing bases. And he's going to look really great to war. Is he actually more valuable than a player like, say, Sam Thompson? I'm not convinced, but the AI is, so whatever. McKean did finish a very respectable third. Which I think is deserved, and I think he may well win an MVP before all is said and done. Oh no, we don't have a Wagoner. Oh, Brian Dalton, how do you get along with the main roster? You get along pretty fine, so I'm going to go ahead and promote you. You're going to be my new bench coach. And Dan Moreno, is there anyone in particular you get along really well with on the Phillies? George Gore. That's fine. You don't have to be great forever. You just have to be acceptable. And then, I guess, hire me some Scott Hastings. Felipe Torres, sure. And Rafael Rodriguez, why not come aboard and be my AA pitching coach? Okay. Now, I don't know if John Souders is the answer to any question involving, do we have a great starter? I mean, he had an amazing season, obviously. And I suppose he at least deserves a chance at the major leagues, but I don't know, guys. We'll see. You would offer me a decent second baseman who can't hit, so no. Like, I am fine if Joe Quinn is my second baseman for the short term. I know he wasn't great, and that there's still room to improve, and maybe we will. But for right now, I'm not that bothered by it, to be honest with you. Souders might be a decent third starter if I wanted to, say, trade a guy like Hutchison for an outfielder or a second baseman, maybe. We're making any player moves until after the draft, though. Oh, excuse me. All right, George Bradley. Nearly 70 WAR. And I know he's got a losing record, but it looks like he just pitched for some really bad teams because everything else tells me he's a great pitcher. Voting for that. And then the rest of this lineup is just really unimpressive. Like, this is the dead ball era, right? If you want my vote, you're going to have to give me 2,000 hits. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And if you want my vote as a pitcher, you'd better have at least 300 decisions. So that's literally all I'm going to vote for, is I'm just going to vote for George Bradley. Don't worry, our Hall of Fame's going to get awfully full here in the not-too-distant future. Tempting, but you're bad at your position, so no. Alright, Willie Keeler is the best player in this draft, I suspect. I guess that's Bill Lang, isn't it? Okay. I do have 2 first-round picks. Remember, I didn't sign my first-round pick last season. So we're going to get at least 1 quality player out of this draft. And let's see what that player might be. Okay. So, we have several hitters and no pitchers. That's fine. First of all, let's look at Joe Sugden. Joe is a pretty good hitting player who happens to be a catcher. But on the other hand, we kind of have an okay catcher already in Con Daly. And I know that maybe he didn't have a massive season, but he was pretty good. Let's put him in the maybe pile. We have Candy LaChance, who is a very good contact hitter with a decent bit of power. But he happens to be blocked. Because Ed McKean's not going anywhere anytime soon. And then we have 2 left fielders. First, we have Duff Cooley. Duff is a good contact hitter and a decent base stealer who doesn't strike out very much. He's super young. My concern with Mr. Cooley here is that if he has a season where he doesn't hit for a decent average, he's going to look like garbage. Then we have Charlie Frank, who's a bit more well-rounded and plays left field. And then I guess we do have Park Wilson, who at least plays multiple positions with some skill. So I guess here's our consideration right now. Is there someone here that we'd want to take quite badly? I think the answer to that is no. None of these players stand out at me as say, this is a top 10 player and convinces me to draft with my 9th overall pick. I just don't see that here. I see a couple players who might be handy, but I don't see anyone who transforms the franchise. Which I think is a fair thing to ask for from your top 10 pick. And maybe that player is Joe Sugden. And maybe I'm just being unreasonable. He is a switch-hitting catcher with a ton of gap power and enough contact and discipline to make solid contact consistently. And it's not like Con Daly is a brilliant catcher by any stretch of the imagination. He's merely a decent one. So maybe that is the choice we make. Because I do believe that Joe Sugden could be a starting catcher for several seasons. And I particularly like the fact he's a switch hitter. So I think we will actually go ahead and take Sugden. I think he offers a position we need, and he's a premium offensive talent. And he's not really that blocked right now. I'll probably start him in AAA, at least in the beginning of the season, and see how he works out. Let's take him. Alright, we've got some relievers now, and then we've got Art Twineham, who is bad, and Judd Smith, who is equally bad. There's a lot of not very good players in this draft, if I'm honest with you. I'm not even going to bother to sign this first round pick. I'm going to go ahead and let my assistant general manager finish the draft. I will happily sign Sugden, but I'm going to go ahead and ignore everyone else in this draft. Unless there's something that they've got, which there isn't. Yeah, I'm just going to stockpile draft picks for the inevitable draft, which will have a ton of really decent players. Nah. Yeah, I think that's easy. I'm just not going to sign my other draft picks. Anyone I want to keep on the roster on the Rule 5? I don't think so. I don't do that. Just auto draft until my pick. And there's no one here. I'll just finish the whole draft. Ed Kennedy, huh? Boston must be pretty desperate if that's who they voted for, or acquired, rather. How did I miss... Were you just... Okay, Cal McVay is arguably pretty decent. I'm not convinced he's a Hall of Famer, but I'm not upset that he made it. What about George Hall? Again, these are players that for me are the Hall of Very Good. These aren't the kinds of players that I look at and I say, yes, these are defining players that definitely need to be voted in. Bradley is, on the other hand, now instantly the best, one of the best starting pitchers in Major League history, and I think he made the right call there. I think this is a function of the AI saying we have to induct someone, so let's induct players that at least had a couple of decent seasons. But this is not a Hall of Fame player. I don't care how you divvy up his stats. This is a decent player who was consistent for about 7 years, 2 mediocre seasons, and then was utter garbage. These aren't Hall of Famers, in my opinion. They increased my budget, which is amazing, but it's not really going to help. Let's trade Decker and see if I can turn you into a second baseman or an outfielder. Only batters, please. No. Oh, here we go. I'm getting a number of players who don't really speak to me as I need this player on my team. There's just nothing here, friends. There's nothing here that really excites me. You know what? I'm going to trade for Harry Sage because at least he has a minor league contract, right? That'll save us some money. Where is Souders? And why do we think he's garbage all of a sudden? I don't really see anybody else here that I'm willing to lay down for and say this player needs to be on the team. With a possible exception of Sugden. And I'd honestly rather just let Sugden develop in the minors. Stencil, I'm going to go ahead and take you off of game strategy. I'm just going to let them play you where they want to play you. And let's proceed. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with having more draft picks next draft. No. You give me pause, but no. Okay. So first of all, Harry Sage, you're on the spring training roster, as is Sugden. If they think Inks deserves a trial as a starter, I'm happy to give him a shot in spring training. Yeah, I think this is a fine spring training roster. And we'll just see who makes a team and who doesn't. I didn't set things. I was silly. Here we go. Do your thing, bench coach. And I actually want a 4-man rotation in the spring training. And then we'll advance. Okay, there we go. Let's break down the roster. Sugden. You got a tiny bit worse. But I was going to start you in the minors this season anyway. So I'm not that fussed by it. Sage, you make the 40-man roster just because I do want 2 catchers. I have 12 pitchers, which is probably too many. I think 10 is probably fine. So I'm going to go ahead and demote Inks. No, I can't demote Souders is the issue. I don't have an option left on him. So I think this is probably so long to Amos Russi. Can I get literally anything of value for you? I can get good hitter who doesn't play his position very well, Henry Sutter. Henry Moore. I don't know why I said Henry Sutter. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not really thinking any of these players are all that exceptional. So then I guess it becomes, what other position could I use help at? If I look at all players and just look at prospects, can I get anything? You know what? I'll take John Dolan. Done. Alright, we're down to our starting 25. We probably have too many outfielders, but I don't know what to do about that, if I'm honest with you. I'm a little disappointed that we think he's gotten worse. He actually hasn't gotten worse. We're just being weird, Scouty and McScout face. I should be spending a lot more on scouting. Oh well. Whatevs. Let's go and advance to opening day, and then we'll set our roster. You want me to make the playoffs? I do too. Players are... I have a lot of players that are just a bit beyond their peak, so I'm not overly shocked that we're seeing players get worse. I'm a little disappointed that John McGraw is getting worse, but, you know. Bert Inks is making some real strides and is probably on the short list for emergency starter. Do I have anyone in the top 100? I don't. Or top 10, rather. That's fine. Alright, pitching staff. Nuke it. 3-man rotation. It's going to be Meekin, Whitney, and Hutchison. If I look at pitching ratings, I'm going to look at relievers. Bob Black is clearly the best. And I know he didn't pitch very much for us last season, but I think he's earned a big role. So I'm going to go ahead and set Bob Black to stopper. And then I honestly think everyone else just slides in various middle relief roles. Except for Souders, who's going to be my long reliever emergency starter. I know our bullpen is a bit of a weak point. I acknowledge that. But we're just going to have to accept it for the short term, because there's not much I can do about it. Just going to hope that we score enough runs that it's not really a thing we need to concern ourselves with. Okie dokie. Batting ratings. Best contact hitter on the team is Ed McKean by a pretty substantial margin. So he remains my number 3 hitter. Slattery is the cleanup guy. McGraw bats leadoff. George Gore bats second, I think. I think his ability to get on base is going to be really big in front of McKean and Slattery. And then I think Dick Burns bats 5th. I still think you should get that checked out, but that's of no real consequence. He could honestly use a platoon partner, and we've got the players, so if we wanted to say bat Jack Connor against lefties, I don't think that would go very amiss. What else we got? We need a catcher, second base, and shortstop. Gilman Allen is really good at getting on base, so I'm actually going to make him the 7th place hitter. I'm going to let Con Daly bat in front of him. And then at second base, Joe Quinn is not an embarrassment with the bat. So I'm going to go ahead and let him play second. I think he's also a little bit better. Oh no, Charlie Bassett is genius at second base. Joe Quinn is merely okay. If I'm getting subpar offense anyway, I'd rather have the brilliant defender. So that's what we're going to do. Backing up is going to be Harry Sage at catcher. Sam Wise at first. Quinn at second. Can Quinn play third or short? Not very well. Holland, I guess, will play third and short, maybe, just because someone has to do it. McCartney backs up at center. O'Connor in right. And I guess O'Connor in left, too. Yeah. Souders, you're actually a bad hitter, and I don't want you to be a two-way player. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take that option away from you. You're a bad hitter. I don't need you to play just so that I can have one more option. Powell is equally bad. So kindly don't make him a two-way player. Oh, he's not. Here we go. Jim Whitney's an okay hitter, but because he's a starting pitcher, I'm not going to let him be a two-way player. Otherwise, I would very much think about it. That means we got hitters focused on hitting, and we've got pitchers focused on pitching, and I think that results in a better overall scheme for us. The very best hitter on the team who doesn't have a regular starting role is going to be Jack O'Connor, so I'm going to make him my pinch hitter, and I'm going to make him my pinch runner. Then we have Jake Stenzel, who can, again, fill both holes. That's what she said. Sam Wise is maybe an okay pinch hitter. I think we can offer him the odd at bat as a pinch hitter. And then no one else really deserves it. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this over. And then I'm going to go ahead and let O'Connor start against right-handed pitching. Sorry, against left-handed pitching. I want to see if his batting, what kind of split difference we're talking about here. Yeah, against lefties, he's never been that great. Whereas against righties, he's quite solid. So yeah, I'm no objections whatsoever to letting O'Connor play against left-handed pitching. Give him a chance to start, give him a chance to feel out, and see how good he can be. Okay. I think that's our team set up. Let's just get the ball rolling. Oh, McCartney is going to retire. I mean, you're pretty bad, in all honesty. Like, you're not remotely Hall of Fame worthy. So, shrug. Everyone got a bit worse besides Sam Wise. Buck Freeman is turning into a pretty impressive relief pitcher. And a not bad right fielder. Like, you have a ton of potential as an offensive player, too. I'm going to set you to right field. I think I'd rather you focus on your hitting talent and use pitching as just kind of like a side gig. And then I'm going to go ahead and set game strategy. I'm going to force you to be the starting right fielder. Because, Bucky, my boy, you could be an incredible player that happens to just be good at two things. But I just think you're too good to be wasted as a fairly decent starting pitcher. Or reliever, rather. Alright, the offense, we're bringing it. The pitching, not so much. We're still 8th in runs scored despite having a ton of base hits. We're a really good defensive team. And our starters actually aren't that bad. It's our bullpen that's really having issues. We'll figure it out. Let's go ahead and sim ahead another month. Because we're right in the thick of it right now, right? Sam Wise, you're not a starter. Not when I have Mr. McKean. Player development. Okay, Jim Whitney's starting to slip. Meekin is a tiny bit, but he still looks like he's overall pretty decent. Slattery just took a big step forward. Stenzel did the same. Hey Buck, can I see how if you got any better as a hitter? Your potential's improving, but you're not capitalizing on that potential. So I need you to get better, please. Jim Whitney is not pitching well this season. I'm kind of tempted to let Hutchison take over as the number 2 starter and then go ahead and bench Whitney and let Souders be the starter. Let's give you one more month to see if you can get better. You would give me a pretty solid starting pitcher, but you're asking for quite a bit in exchange. I'm going to have to say no, but this is more of a let's talk about it. Heck, if he wants to do Whitney for Shaw straight up, I have no problem with that. Shaw's just a better pitcher. And if all I have to offer them is Joe Quinn, who's not even starting right now, it kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. Let's do it. Can I get a middle infielder? You know what? Can I get Tom McLaughlin? Awesome. Fans, I know it seems like I'm being unduly harsh on him, but trust me when I say you will appreciate having a better younger player available to us. And I'm actually going to have you start playing third and see if you can manage that position. It would help if I had him in the right position. There we go. Pitching, Dupuis, Shaw, you're coming in to be my second starter. Oh, I see. You've made Amos Russi into a first baseman. Good on you. I hope you find him to be acceptable. I know Jim Whitney was super popular and super talented, but he doesn't have a role right now on this team. He just doesn't. It's nothing personal. A new locally popular player. Well, I have a better idea that you go fuck yourselves. How's that sound, As always, minor leaguers never get to leave. Do I like Chris Hinz as a scouting director? I don't love him, to be honest with you. Go ahead and stick around, Candy. I think we can maybe do better. Like, what is he the best at? International scouting. Well, who gives a shit? We don't even use international scouting at this point. You've got a lot of championships, my dude. Yeah, I don't see a point in keeping him if there might be a better scout available to us. All right, sim up to the All-Star break. Who we got? Oh, we need the NL, don't we? Ed McKean and Bob Gilman Allen, and that's it. Really? Okay. No, that's fine. I guess that's how you're gonna do things here. Like, I don't mind Gilman Allen getting a ton of respect because he's actually hitting, which is a thing I didn't know he could do. If we're overall looking at our team, we've got a lot of batting average, and we're contributing mightily, but it's the bullpen that's really been the issue. And I'm not sure why. I'm not at all sure why Bob Black doesn't look better than he does. Like, it seems like maybe he's having some issues with FIP, and he's only got 10 innings, right? So we don't actually know how good he is. We just know that he's, you know, there. Whatever. Dupuis Shaw has been pretty solid for us so far this season. Let us advance. We had the All-Star Games MVP. Very nice. Thanks, Ed. And Buck Freeman is really doing well. As long as he continues to improve, he's going to be starting on this team possibly as soon as next season. Because right now he's killing it. By which I mean the baseball, but also by which I mean the quality. It is time for roster expansion. I don't really know who we'd call up unless we call up, say, Sugden. We could maybe use another arm in the bullpen, like a Henry Blovel. What is your issue, Bert Ings? Why do you look worse than you do? Because you walk too many people. Okay. I don't really see anyone that I want to call up yet. I just don't. So I think we're going to go ahead and just continue on to the trading deadline for now. And you broke O'Connor's ankle. That wasn't very nice of you. I'm going to call up John Kelty. I'm going to tell you why. Because there's less to ruin with him. And he's just a backup outfielder. And then Stenzel, you're going to fill in here. And then you're going to play left and right if people need a break. Not Frank Milkcarton. Yeah. John Kelty, you're literally here because I need 25 players. You're not here because I expect anything out of you. You're not getting him. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving that up. Is there anyone I would like to trade? I'm pretty sure the answer to that question is no. I don't think there's anyone on this team that really needs to be traded. Are you fucking kidding me, game? Quit injuring my damn right fielders. You know what? I don't even care. The game will figure it out. Because we're not going to catch the Giants unless the Giants melt down. There's just no way I can catch up to them. So I'm just going to accept that this wasn't our season, and then we'll move on. I don't care what you think, Samwise. I have one of the best first basemen in the majors. Good for the Giants. All right. I now have the number 1 and number 3 prospects and number 8 in Major League Baseball. So clearly I know what I'm doing, and you should maybe give me a break. So what happened this season? Why wasn't this season quite as good? It's just based on run differential. It looks like we were positive, but not by as much. I think the Giants just maybe had a better offense than we did. Yeah, like our offense was not bad, but it was not the number 2 offense in the major leagues. It was the number 6. And it really comes down to 2 positions. I guess 3, because George Gore wasn't that great either. Although he did get on base. It comes down to catcher and second base. Like, we got a tremendous season out of Bob Gilman Allen. Probably one that we didn't deserve. But he was everything I wanted out of the season and more. McGraw got on base, as was his job. So did Gore. Gore's probably getting to the point where he's not very good for us anymore. But I'm not that upset about this season. I do want a new scouting director. Please give me scout ratings. I'm easily going to take Mike Hogan. He's exactly what I want in a scout. He's great at scouting the minors, good at scouting the majors, but he's excellent at scouting amateurs. Welcome to the Philadelphia Phillies. And then let's get a hitting coach for AA. Let's get Gene Kimball submitted. But yeah, I am more than happy with how this team performed. I know the pitching staff could have been better, especially Dupuis Shaw. But he also was significantly better for me than he was for Cleveland. But yeah, we need second base, and I think we probably need to let Sugden take over as the catcher next season. Because he utterly dominated in AAA. Like, this is a man with nothing left to learn. This is a man who needs to be in the major leagues stat. And we're just going to advance a bit until we get our new scouting director. I mean, I need a new pitching coach. I don't appreciate that. Scouting budget, I'm going to give you the league maximum because I have nothing else to do with this money. I do need a new pitching coach. I'll take Keith Hamilton. Do it. Ooh, Fred Clark. All right, we've got our scouting director, which is great. McKean got another Gold Glove, as did Charlie Bassett, as did George Gore, as did Mike Slattery. So this really looks bad for George Gore, that he won a Gold Glove and got on base and yet still wasn't able to perform at the level we expect. This is probably it for George Gore. We probably need to upgrade in left field too. Gilman Allen, very nice. I think the WAR formula has given way too much credit to Billy Hamilton for just getting on base and stealing bases, but I'm not that fussed by it. Not John Trafley. Did we have anyone in the running for MVP, like, at all? Bob Gilman Allen. That's pretty funny. It's fine. I'm not that upset by it. I think we go ahead and trade Daly now. Because I don't see any reason to keep him if he can't hit. And if he's not providing a good defense, I'm going to go ahead and trade him. I am looking for offensive players. Specifically, I'm looking for outfielders, I guess. Do I just look for left field? No, I'm going to look at all batters, and then we'll narrow it down if there's multiple good options. I mean, there's Jack fucking Stivats. What's wrong with him? I know he's a bad pitcher, but I want him to just be a left fielder. Like, holy shit, that's a good hitter. I could bring in Hugh Duffy from Brooklyn. Maybe not. Pete Browning can't play defense anymore. Yeah, I will 100% take this deal. And without hesitation. And then I'll just instantly go ahead and hand Sugden the job. Let me make this painfully clear to you, Mr. Stivats. You are no longer throwing another baseball unless it's out in the outfield. Just no. I'm now going to try to flip George Gore, and I'm going to see if I can get a decent second baseman out of him. Or just any kind of prospect, actually. Let's focus on prospects. You're mostly offering me pitchers. Robert Gibson is a really good reliever. Like, stupidly good, right? I could definitely use a guy like that on my team. Just for funsies. No. No, there's not really anything else here that's worth it. Done. I'm sorry, I can't afford to be sentimental for players that aren't very good. I'll go ahead and put you on the 40-man, but I'm putting you in AAA. Why on earth would I want a first baseman? Go fuck yourself. Unless Ed McKean dropped dead in the past 8 seconds, he is on this team forever. He drives our success. So, please no. I don't want a first baseman. What makes you think I want one? Oh, you think I want a catcher? I don't. I am more than satisfied with letting Jim Sugden or Joe Sugden play catcher for me next season. I'm 100% acceptable of that. Alright, it's time for El Famo del Hall. How does George Wright have so many wins above replacement when he's otherwise not that impressive? Is it just pure longevity? Oh, it's based on Jaws. Yeah. I keep forgetting that. But no, here it says 66 WAR. I mean, I have no problem with him going in the Hall. So I guess I'll give him a vote. It does go against my 2000 hit, but you know, for a Hall of Fame, I think he deserves it. Yeah, I see a lot of mediocre players, so I'm just gonna vote for George Wright and no one else. I don't need a catcher. Please stop offering me one. And especially not giving up Burt Inks. Not when I think he's got a ton of potential and to break the rotation. So please stop offering me catchers, dudes. I've got 2 back of the first round picks. And it looks like this is another draft that just doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It's got 3 pretty solid top players, and then it just drops off dramatically from there. I don't mind Harry Blake. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Frank Bonner. I think he's more of what we need, which is a second baseman who could potentially hit his way out of a paper bag. And at the very least, a decent utility guy. So I'm going to go ahead and draft him. This is all about depth, this draft. This is all about who can we get to make our team strong for years to come. And a player like Henry Coate is not a bad choice at all. as a really overqualified backup catcher. I'll take Harry Jordan. And then I guess I'll just let my scouting director pick the rest of these guys. Like, I don't think Bonner's going to start. I think he's going to play in the minors for a season to see how he does. Why is Jake Boyd so popular? I've seen worse. I have loads of cash, so it's not like this is going to hurt me in any way. Is there anyone who might depart on the Rule 5 that I care about? There is not, my friends. There is not. Oh, I didn't even look to see if there's actually good players in the Rule 5 this season. Honestly, I would take Shorty Howe if he's still available. I think he's got the potential to be a pretty decent utility player. And, of course, the one player I would have taken is gone. It's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and complete the entire draft. I did lose Ed Mayer. I don't care, but I guess that matters a little bit. That was just dumb. George Wright made it pretty dramatically. I do like how I'm single-handedly keeping Ezra Sutton out of the Hall of Fame. Good. I have no actual problem with him. I just don't think he's deserving of a spot. Meh. Yeah, just please stop, Cincinnati. You keep raising my budget, like my budget is the problem. It's not. Here, you know what? Let's put $5,000 into player development. Let's just spend money because I have no other purpose. Because we're going to make a mint in terms of salary. So I don't even care. Player development, Sowers got a bit worse. McKean got a bit better. McGraw got better. Stivetts got better, but at pitching, ugh. I'm still looking to see if we got any better at actual hitting. Yeah, Frank Bonner, is like a really solid second baseman, and I think he could be a quality addition to the team. Especially given that, let's be honest here, Charlie Bassett was fine, but not good. I mean, last season he was one of the best second basemen in Major League Baseball. And he got a Gold Glove, but that's all he brings to the table. So, you know, pass. Stop offering me catcher's game. I don't know why you don't believe in my rookie catcher, but I need you to stop. If you don't mind, and if you do mind, do it anyway. You're not doing anything stupid, are you? Like letting him be a two-way player? Good. Because, yeah, Happy Jack Stivetts is too good a hitter to be wasted on the mound. He just is. I'll stick him out in left field and have an amazing hitter and be pleased about that. All right. I want Inks, Freeman, Blovell, Bonner, Jordan, and Thornton. Freeman, I don't really care where you play. I guess something is stopping you from being my starting right fielder, right? Just for the playoff purposes, or for preseason purposes. Let Dick Burns get a nice break. Some nice improvements there. Sugden got faster, but otherwise got worse. Slattery got better. Stenzel got better. Freeman got worse. I don't like that. A game, please stop. I'm not even saying I wouldn't mind a player like Thunberger who plays 3 positions with some level of skill. Okay, maybe not. I mean, I would like to have Billy Klingman as a backup, but I'm not giving you Bill Hutchison for that. All I want is Billy Klingman. I have to give you something relatively decent, huh? But why? Like, he's a great defensive outfielder. I want him to be a backup. I don't want him to start. It just seems kind of dumb. I give you Sam Wise. That doesn't move the needle. Then I don't care. Clear. And then next week. Finish, finish, and finish. Buck Freeman didn't really do much. Not that I expected him to. Alright, I've got 16 pitchers, including Freeman. Freeman goes right to the minors. I want you to unleash your full potential in the minors before I let you come up to the majors. Easy choice. Kelty, you're trash. You go to the minors. Oh, sorry, I should be getting rid of 5 pitchers first, huh? Gibson, you can get better. Inks can get better. Jordan can get better. Thornton can't really get better, but he's also not very good to begin with. Billy Hart, I don't mind being in the majors unless... No, that gives us 11 pitchers, doesn't it? Then I'm going to send down Hart. And that'll be my pitching staff for this season. Okay, clear it. Meekin was fine last season, but not great. Are other teams using 4-man rotations already? Besides me, obviously. I'm literally the only team that doesn't have a four-man rotation. Now, granted, this is spring training. So let me go ahead and advance to opening day. Blair, Sugden got better. Alright. Nothing there is that thrilling. Why are you saying I can't control this team? Oh, I see what you're saying. Phillies, kindly don't send that crap to me. Okay. Before I finish with the roster, I'm just trying to determine if I'm behind the curve again. Okay, you have 3 starters. You have 3 starters. Okay, everyone has 3 starters. It was only for spring training purposes that they were at 4. Okay. Then I won't do it either. I think Hutchinson is probably our ace. Either that or Dupuis. So yeah, I think we're going to do Shaw, then Meek, and then Hutchinson. Black is back as the stopper. Souders is back as the emergency starter, long reliever. And everyone else is just a garden variety middle reliever. Lineup. Nougat. The best pure hitter on the team is actually Stevets, so he's going to bat cleanup. McKean's going to bat third. Slattery slides in and bats fifth. McGraw continues to lead off. Now, here's my question. Is this the new normal for Gilman Allen, or was this just incredible luck? I don't know the answer to that, but to be honest, I'm willing to give him a shot as the number 2 hitter. If he's got decent speed, which I think he does. He has okay speed. So we're going to try it. Sugden's going to hit 6th. Burnsy here can play right field again. And then who plays second? I think it's still Bassett. But if I need a shot in the arm offensively, I'm going to let Bonner play second. Stenzel, you're going to be my number 1 pinch hitter. O'Connor, you're going to be number 2. Bonner's going to be my 3rd. And then speed-wise, Stenzel and O'Connor. Bench is going to be Mr. Sage, batting there, Mr. Wise there. I'm going to let you play all 3 positions, Bonner, and just let you get some experience and see how that works out for you. But I do have Tom McLaughlin, who I think I will make the defensive sub. I'm going to put him in... No, actually, I think McLaughlin can just be a tertiary backup. Gives a bit more depth in that game. Stenzel gets the questionable assignment of being our backup center fielder. And I'm also going to make him the backup left fielder. And then O'Connor's going to be backup and right. I frankly don't know what Will Holland brings to the table other than like borderline acceptability. But yeah, he's actually made our team worse just by existing on this team. If I can't outright, yeah, I'm just getting rid of Holland. I'm just going to cut him. I guess I could trade him at least. See if I can get an infielder for him. Like, Mark Phillips at least plays really good second base, right? Bill Gleason is a decent shortstop. Fred Pfeffer is a good second baseman who also plays a bit of short. Bill Kuhn plays a bit of third. I'd like someone who's got experience at all of the positions, really. If I can be a bit greedy. But if I can't, then I can't. Give me Henry Easterday without hesitation. Didn't I have you before? Yes, when I was with Brooklyn. You are here literally to just be on the roster. No, I take that back. I'm going to let you back up at third and short because Bonner's actually pretty bad at both positions. And then do I actually want McLaughlin to back up at second? I think I do. There we go. That looks good. It's got to be O'Connor starting in right because Stenzel is too important as a backup center fielder. I need to make sure that he's got experience. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Oh. How decent is Hutchison? You know what? I'm actually going to let Bonner start in the minors this season. Because I want him to be playing every day, and he's not going to get to do that if he's in the majors. He's just going to ride the pine. Because I want to see if he can improve his second base at all. And I will happily play a guy like Hutchison and just have him be on the roster. Because he's the third infielder, right? I don't even care if he gets any playing time. You exist because someone has to play the position. That's the only reason that you're here, my dude. Anyone need to be added to the 40-man? Nope. Oh, yes. Blovelt has to be. Here we go. Good. Ed Mayer? What the heck is this about? Oh, weren't you on... Yeah, you got put on my 40-man. What do I have to have him on the 40-man roster again? I'll just fucking trade his ass. I don't even care. You want to give me a decent reliever? I'm not going to say no. You want to give me a really good reliever? That would be even better. Fuck it, give me George Cuppy. And then I can take the worst reliever on the roster and I can send him to AAA. Blovelt, you're gone. Cuppy, you're in. Your name is dumb, but that's okay. Oh, nice. McKean hit for the cycle. You like to see that. And I just lost one of my starters. Alright. What would Souders be considered as a starter right now? You know what? I'm going to give him a shot as the starting pitcher. I'm going to move up Meekin and Hutchison. But I'm going to go ahead and make John Souders our third starter. Is it Inks time? I mean, we're going to lose him if we don't promote him. There's no way around that. So I think we do it. Or we call up Robert Gibson and just have another bullpen guy. I'm fine with that, actually. We'll just rely a bit more heavily on our bullpen. Souders' control actually shot up, which is pretty impressive. Gibson... McKean is getting a little bit worse, but not by much. I need to see your control improve, Bert. That's the one thing that makes me nervous about you. Nice. Joe Sugden has been what we needed. To stabilize catching. And then your control vanished again. God damn it, Souders. The thing is, we're at the part... Ooh, dang. He did get a shutout. We're at the part of our season where we're really close. We are so incredibly close to breaking through. I'm instantly demoting Allen in the lineup. Are you doing okay, O'Connor? You're doing not so great. But... you're better than Gilman Allen, I assume. I'm going to let Sugden bat second against catching. Fuck it. And let's see how that works out for us. You know what? I didn't realize he was from Philadelphia, but I'll take it. How do you get along with my players? Most of them like you, except for Dick Burns. I don't even care. Hello, minor league coaches. Did you think I would let you leave? I won't. No, we do have a problem. And our problem right now is that we're starting to slip. And it superficially seems to be the road. No, the rotation's actually fine. It's been the lineup that's struggled. Maybe just demoting Gilman Allen to where he can do less damage is going to see us turn it around. Because I think we honestly have one of the better teams in the majors. I don't know, maybe John Souders hasn't been an incredible starting pitcher, but I think he'll get there. To being serviceable, right? We don't have an ace. Meekin comes close, I guess, but we don't have, like, a true ace, so to speak. 2,000 hits for Dave Orr. What do we got? What do we got? John McGraw made the All-Star team, as did Slattery. And that's it. Man, William Brown's not that great. I guess he is hitting almost 400. Here's Lazy Ed McKean only hitting 318. What a loser. I'm kidding. Like, Daniel Jackson-Vets hasn't been an amazing pickup for us, though. And look at Mike Slattery, almost hitting 400. We have a good group. The thing is, I don't know how else we can acquire a starter. I don't know what we could offer another team to get us an improved starter. You're turning into a decent little hitter, Mr. Boner. I would just like you to improve a bit in the field. I probably shouldn't call him that, but we are where we are. How can you see a player with this much offensive talent and then not start him every day? I don't get it. I mean, you're destroying baseballs. This is really just a matter of you locking in your power. But then I think you're going to be a starting right fielder for us for quite a long time. Yeah, Dick Burns is having a fine season. I've got no issues with him. We've got production up and down the lineup until we get to Gilman Allen, who's back to his old ways, if not a little bit worse. Bob Black, why do you have so many issues with pitching? I don't get it, dude. I just don't see us being able to make the playoffs this season either. I just don't. And I don't even think there's a player that we could acquire that would actually help us get there either. That's just where we are. We don't have an elite top shelf starting pitcher. We've got several decent ones, but we don't have an ace. And until we get one, it's going to be really hard to argue. Gilman Allen, I don't know what to do about you. Maybe I need to think about replacing you too. Because, I mean, Charlie Bassett has been at least close to replacement level, right? Although maybe he needs to be replaced too. I don't know. Yeah, we're already out of the playoffs, I think. We really lack the pitching to get back in the argument. You're going to be a really great hitter, and I think there's a fair chance that I'll probably let you play second base next season, at least as a backup, but Buck, could you please just take one more step forward, please? It doesn't have to be a big one, it just has to be a step forward. Sam Wise is going to retire. That's fine. We're ever so slightly closing the gap. Is there anything I could do to actually make that change? I mean... The problem is Inks is what Inks is at this point. He's a pitcher who's going to struggle to throw strikes. And until he gets to that point, he's going to be a liability on the mound. Which is really frustrating. But I think that just has to be where he is right now. And I think we probably consider trading him next season. We'll see. For his first season in the majors, Souders could have been a lot better, but he also could have been a lot worse. Meekin is fine. Hutchinson has been consistently undervalued by me, and I think I need to accept that he's just going to be a key part of this pitching staff. Freeman has honestly hit so well in the minors these last couple of seasons, I probably have to promote him and then find a spot for him. Like, if I could trade Jack O'Connor and get a decent pitcher as a return, I'd probably do it. We've been eliminated. I'm not that surprised. It is what it is. Am I sad? I am, but... Like, if we take a look at the Cardinals, what do they have that we don't? Not much. I'm honestly looking at this team, and the only thing I'm noticing is that they've got a lot fewer pitchers than I do. Wait, how do you have Bill Souders? That's not possible, is it? Are the two players with the same name? Maybe. Yeah, that's the only difference. We have basically the same lineup. Henry Boyle was considerably better than anyone on my team, it's true, in terms of pitching. What about the Giants? The Giants had a pretty crummy staff, but again, a roughly equivalent offense. I think it's just we have three really tough teams, and they're all in the same division. We probably need a bit more pop in the lineup, and we need a bit more production from the infield. But other than that, like, Joe Sugden is what I wanted. He provided lots of quality offense and played pretty decent catcher, I think. He wasn't brilliant, but he wasn't bad either. Stevets and McKean both came in and got on base and knocked the ball around a bunch. Mike Slattery did cool off, but was otherwise fantastic. There's a lot to like with this team. And I'm not at all upset that we missed the playoffs again, because I don't know what else we can do, really. Other than find upgrades at the middle infield positions, which are the hardest positions to fill. My biggest concern is actually not Gilman Allen's bad offense. It's this. He's gone from being one of the better defenders in the league to a serious setback, and that's deeply concerning to me. Because if he doesn't have defense, he has nothing. And Bassett is replacement level. So we probably would honestly want to start Bonner at second base next season. Maybe think about starting Freeman and Wright. trade Dick Burns for a really solid starter or an upgrade in the middle infield. We have options. Pitching wise, I mean, Bill Hutchison was as good as anybody. Meekin was fine. Souter's a bit less fine. We have too many pitchers in general, is part of our issue. But I don't really need more hitters. I don't think the majors actually had a 25-man roster at this point in their history. I think that came a lot later. Look at John McGraw. Damn. We have a lot of all-stars. What we don't have is an MVP. Stivets is close. And maybe that's what takes this team to the next level, is we need that heart-of-the-order dominant bat. Because Ed McKean is great, right? He's very, very good. And he's very productive. But he's not dominant. I don't know. We'll figure something out for next season. I'm not bothered by finishing 79 and 61. And I have a feeling that actually would have been 4th in the AL. Weird. I know we lost by 6 games, but we weren't that much worse than our competition. They're winning the one-run games and I'm not. That's what it really comes down to. If I finished 500, I would have been in the playoffs. So, be that as it may, let's sim to the end of the playoffs. Oh, George Gore retired, and we retired his jersey. We did the same thing for Charlie Bennett. Was Gore really that good? Yes. George Gore was pretty damned good. Why are you saying 2,000 base hits? Are you including the minor leagues? This is not 2,000 base hits. What am I missing here? Where are these mythical 2,000 base hits coming from? Oh, I see my issue. Boom. I was stuck on one player. And how good did Charlie Bennett end up? For a catcher, pretty damn solid. I would not at all be upset to see him enter the Hall of Fame. I will need a new hitting coach. Do I have one on staff that really deserves a shot? Felipe, I would like to know how you would handle being the coach for Philly. You would get along well with Stivets. Which is actually not bad. I think as an interim guy, I can handle that. I can promote you to being my hitting coach. You know what, Jeff Lewis? I would like you to be my AAA hitting coach. And AA, let's make it Rit Harrison. Sure. So we have a couple of interesting decisions to make in this offseason. And I think one of the biggest decisions is going to be, do we move on in right field? Because Freeman hasn't reached his potential yet. That's undeniable. Freeman could be truly special and really kickstart this offense to the next level. I believe that firmly. Please stop showing pitching stats, though. That'd be great. Like, he's wrecking the minor leagues. Bonner had an amazing season. My big issue with Bonner is going to be if we promote him and he turns out to be a bad second baseman. There's not much getting around that. We also might promote Cole to be our backup catcher because he can hit. And Sage really, really can't. C'est la vie. I mean, Burns is not the problem. Burns is not why we didn't do well last season. I'm probably playing an average to mediocre player a bit more than I should be. Because he doesn't draw walks. And until this past season, he hadn't hit 300 in a few seasons. I mean, Stenzel could very easily be Dick Burns. Freeman, do you have a hole in your swing? You don't like facing left-handed pitching. Not at all. I am going to try something before we end the episode. So I need second base, I need shortstop, and I need starting pitching. Let's look at starting pitchers. Okay, it's pretty much garbage. Up and down the line. Second base. Not really. I mean, Yank Robinson can't actually play the position at all. Honey Capel's not as good as Bonner. Podge isn't as good as Bonner. Kid Gleason is a god-awful player. Jack Farrell is bad. Dan Shannon is not good. Cub Stricker is bad. Yeah. Shortstop. Nope. Let's look prospects. The best overall prospect that I can get my hands on. Henry Colleen, maybe? I would not object to taking Jack Taylor and seeing if I can make a starter out of him. Let's try it. I'm sorry that you're sad about that, but you'll get over it, I'm sure. Okay, you'd actually be a god-awful starter. But I'm going to give you the chance to prove that you could be a not bad starter by putting you in AAA and forcing you to start. And if you don't turn out, you don't turn out. I've still got a pretty decent reliever, but I'm going to force you to be a starter. And then we're going to see what happens there. I think we go ahead and call up Buck Freeman because he's got nothing left to learn in AAA. And I think Bonner probably makes the opening day roster too. Because I'm just not convinced that Bassett offers anything significant any longer. But I am going to wait before I promote him. Do I want you used as a reliever too? No, I think I want you to be an everyday starting right fielder. And then I might have O'Connor or Stenzel be your backup and play when there's a lefty on the mound. Okay, against lefties, how did you manage? Pretty well. And you didn't do badly against righties. You're just better at handling lefties, so that's fine. We could really use a quality draft. We could really use at least one, if not two, top-notch players. And I think we'll probably let Henry Coate compete for the backup catcher's job. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you folks have been enjoying the series thus far. And until next time, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.